Why does probate take so long in Florida? That's the number one or two question, followed by why does probate cost so much in Florida? And I'm going to address both of those in this video. The reality is, in many cases, probate takes a long time because the lawyers aren't cracking the whip and moving things along. It's sort of the secret underbelly of probate. One of the things that I learned, I got a wake-up call a few months ago, years ago, a judge that drugged me into a courtroom said, "Why is this taking so long?" And I realized, light bulb went off, this is a really important topic because the reality is that's one of the greatest frustration points for clients. Clients are consumers in this state. We as lawyers have a duty to that client. We as lawyers have a duty to the court to move cases along. And as you peel back the underbelly of probate cases and lawyers' probate procedures, sometimes they're deficient. We are not doing our job as lawyers to move things along, but there's some caveats there. Another real important part of this is that we expect out of our clients a lot. You just need to get information out of clients. And oftentimes this information is difficult to pull out of clients. The reality is that one of the duties and obligations on the part of the deceased family that comes in is that they got to grab records together, bank accounts, stock statements, all these sorts of things. And that can be very difficult for that person to put together. We got to be mindful of the fact that oftentimes the person that we're dealing with is dealing with trauma. Person died, right? And so asking them, imploring them to do certain things is very difficult. And so one of the things that I know judges are aware of, and we're really working together to try and educate judges about this, is the difficulty involved in grabbing this out of a client. Now, one of the things that we did in response to this new era of judges kind of holding us accountable, dragging us in the courtroom, is got licensed on a piece of software, a platform that allows us to go in, grab financial records, bank accounts, bank statements, stock accounts, and fill in the blanks, fill in the gaps that the client, the mom, the dad, the friend, the spouse of the deceased that's charged with this responsibility of getting us documents. But what we found often is that the delay in moving things along often comes from clients in their inability to put documents together, beginning with the death certificate, right? So that had been a roadblock. They can't get hold of the death certificate. Sometimes we're waiting on the nursing home. Sometimes we're waiting on the funeral home, the morgue, whatever, to get that death certificate. We just go around that procedure and get it directly from the state. The second one that is the big delay is getting this inventory, identifying to the court, to anybody that's involved, where all the assets are. And then the next one that comes along is the clients, the heirs, the people that are entitled to this stuff, getting a hold of all of them, getting them served. Again, we have adopted procedures in response to our obligation to the court to move things along, and we are moving this stuff along. I look at where our practice is now as compared to where it was a couple years ago, or what other lawyers are doing, and we're just not accepting it. We're doing what that judge demands out of us, and that's move this stuff along. Again, those life lessons, they come hard, and I have a lot of respect for the court, obviously. And when the court says you move things along, we're like that white rabbit right there. We better not be late. We're moving that practice along. That's what lawyers have an obligation to do, and that's what we're doing in probate practice. So Florida probate courts, the procedures can take a long time, but we're doing everything we can to get ahead of that clock and move that case along.